Okay, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the first day of 5 days of allowing. I am so excited about these next 5 days and what it can mean for you. If you really take what I'm about to teach you to heart, you really start to apply the principles and apply the practices, this has the potential to literally change your life. And I know that because as a spiritual seeker, I had been for years and years and years been reading books and attending seminars and really trying to reach a level of being able to allow myself the life that I desired and allow those things to come to me without stress and without strain. And what I found was that over the course of years, I just started to get more and more frustrated that the more I learned, the more I discovered, the more that I was trying, the harder I was trying, the less things really worked out for me. I learned about law of attraction and I really tried to apply the principles of manifestation in order to get more money, in order to have the vacations and the houses that I desired. And I just continued to, it felt like I was running up against a wall. Nothing seemed to work. Nothing was lasting. The things that I was able to manifest didn't stick. And it became this level of frustration for me until I learned what I'm about to teach you, which is reaching a state of allowing, taking a step back from actually trying to manifest the things and being very honest with myself about where I was in my mindset, right? I had known all along, and I know that you understand this too, that what it is that you desire is not going to make you happy. So more money, even though it seems like, you know, when I have a few more extra $1,000, that little cushion, I won't feel stressed anymore. I'll feel much more happy when I'm able to do the things that I want to do. I feel like I'm missing out right now. And as many times as we can tell ourselves that it's not the outside things that bring us internal happiness, I think until we actually really, really understand that on a deep intellectual and soul level, until we really understand it and own it, right? You can know it, but if you're not really taking it to heart, then you're still, that your mind is going to kind of glaze over that principle and still place so much meaning in those outer things. So it's important to take a step back and watch how you're thinking. Understand how it is that the thoughts that you're thinking create those feelings. It's so important to actually feel the feelings that are going on inside of you, because otherwise you are when you don't allow yourself to feel those feelings, when you don't allow, right? So that's the whole theme of this next 5 days. If you're not in that state of allowing, then you are resisting. And when you resist anything, then you're preventing yourself from actually being able to receive the things that you desire. So for years and years and years, the things that I wanted were eluding me. And when I finally realized that it was an inside job, that happiness is an inside job, prosperity is an inside job, and it all happens from this state of allowing. So in the next 5 days, I'm going to teach you exactly how to allow more to flow into your life by paying more attention to what's going on in your inner world. Because the outer world that you experience is simply a reflection of what's going on inside. So if you feel like there is something outside of you that is missing and you're trying to get it, then in that moment, when you notice that you're straining, that you're trying to get, understand that in that moment, just the fact that you feel like something is missing in your life, you will continue to not be able to experience it. And if you do experience it, like if you do get the money, if you do manifest the vacation, the romantic partner, whatever it is, then because you're still not a vibrational match for that, it's not going to be lasting. So you might manifest the money, but you'll also manifest a situation where it disappears. You might manifest a romantic partner, but because you're not a romantic or a vibrational match for that partner, then they won't stay. And that's a huge cause of suffering, right? Because we get so close to these things that we desire, and they either don't happen or they don't last. And I'm here to tell you that suffering is optional. And when you suffer, it's because you're not allowing whatever is going on to just be. And on the flip side of that, when you reach a state of allowing, when you reach this state of allowing your emotions to be, allowing whatever thoughts are coming up, just to watch those thoughts, just allowing yourself to be wherever you are, right? It's crazy to not allow and accept wherever you are. But the great thing is that when you understand where you are, when you allow where you are, when you just choose to be happy in this present moment, when you choose to, when you do, and it's not even choosing happiness all the time. That is your goal, but that's just not always your current circumstance. And we'll go into this more in depth on a different day, but I want you to understand that if all you're trying to do is achieve happiness all of the time, then a lot of times you're going to suppress what you're feeling. You're going to resist what you're feeling. You're going to deny it. And all of those things don't actually move the emotion. They stay with you. Those low vibrating, heavy, not good feelings. And when those are part of your vibration, then that is exactly what holds you away from getting what it is that you want. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about, and this is going to set the foundation for the rest of the 5 days, including today, is your emotional guidance scale or your instrument panel. Depends on who you talk to. So I'm a student of Divine Openings, which is by Lola Jones. And I know it's going to probably look up, oh, it doesn't look backwards. So Things Are Going Great in My Absence is her first book. And in this book, she has what she calls the instrument panel. Abraham Hicks refers to the same thing as the emotional guidance scale. So you can, if you Google emotional guidance scale, you'll find a ton of different scales that are all relatively the same. If you go to divineopenings.com, you'll find the instrument panel that I'm referring to here in her book. You can actually download it and print it out. So I recommend that you do that. So the very first thing that you have to do in order to be in that state of allowing, which means that you're allowing everything to be, but you're also allowing those miracles and the abundance and the joy and the freedom and all of the things that you're currently seeking. When you're in a state of allowing, you're actually allowing those things to come into your experience as well. So let me just have you take a look here. I'm just going to show you. I actually have a bunch of notes on mine. Oh, you can't really see it. Okay, so pause this video, go to divineopenings.com and just download your own instrument panel so that you can follow along here. But what I want you to see, so pause this video, go do that, and then come back. And then I'm just going to keep on talking as if you had paused the video. So the first thing that I want you to understand, if you look at this instrument panel, there is a midline, right? A tipping point. And right above the tipping point is where you're not resistant anymore. Now, that is not your be all. This isn't where you want to stay, but it's this place where there is no resistance. You are finally at a place of peace, right? So right above that midline, contentment, relaxation, even a state of emptiness, a resting zone, acceptance, boredom, I don't care, even pessimism, and I give up. I just give up. It's like a place of surrender where you just, whatever happens, happens. And in this moment, I surrender that, right? That is that tipping point, that place of where allowing begins. Right below the tipping point, where you are in resistance, you're holding yourself back from receiving the things that you want, and you're holding yourself back from joy, you're holding yourself back from abundance. All of the things that you desire continue to be withheld from you when you're in that state of a resistance. And it's not because it's not available, it's because you are in that moment pushing it away. You are actually, it's available to you, but you are not accepting it, right? And from that midline, your highs get higher and your lows get lower. And so we can move up the instrument panel. We go to interest and courage, hopefulness, seeing possibilities, curiosity, starting to wonder like, I wonder if this is a situation that might change. I wonder if I can actually think different thoughts, right? And optimism, confidence, I can do it, belief. It goes up to happiness, positive expectation. And I'm expecting that you're reading along with this on your instrument panel. Love and appreciation, which are very high vibrations. So, you always hear about how important it is to actually be in a state of gratitude. The reason why is because your vibration is so much higher. So you're in a higher frequency, which means that you are closer to what source is always vibrating, what source is always feeling about you. And then goes all the way up to direct knowing, empowerment, joy, bliss, and ecstasy. So those higher vibrations are always your goal, but it's not always where you are on that path. Sometimes, and if you're just learning about allowing and you really haven't understood the power behind allowing, and you've really been like a seeking junkie trying to find peace in manifesting outer things, the chances are you're actually right below that midline. And you might be in a place of frustration, anxiety, tension, right? So if you look, it's frustration, aggravation, impatience, overwhelmed, stressed, and overworked. That's where most of society actually exists most of the time. So if you're in that state and you're trying to manifest by visualizing and affirming and doing all of those practices, you can see why, how could you possibly allow something amazing to come into your life when you're in that state? It's like a radio broadcast, right? If there's a radio station that's broadcasting to you, but you're not receiving that broadcast because you're on a different station, you won't be able to experience the music that's on that station. So you have to actually tune into it, and you do that by feeling into it, by using your emotional guidance system or your instrument panel to guide you, right? So, and then there's all those lower feelings like disappointment, doubt, confusion, uncertainty, all the way down, shame and unworthiness, despair, and apathy are at the very lowest. But let's just, for the sake of this 5 days, let's assume that all of the emotions below that midline are negative emotions, right? Those are the ones that don't feel good. We consider them bad. But I want to tell you that these emotions, these feelings are not actually bad. They feel bad. And the reason they feel bad is because in that moment, the thoughts that you have thought in order to generate that feeling are out of alignment with the truth. They're out of alignment with what source is feeling, what source is believing, what source knows is going on. So it's a signal, it's a sign for you, right? And so there's nothing wrong with feeling bad, but we have been taught that we want to avoid those feelings. Women especially, we've been taught that anger is bad. So we suppress the anger and we pretend like everything's fine. No, I'm not angry. I'm really not angry. And when you're actually feeling anger inside. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it's okay. Whatever it is that you're feeling, whatever thoughts you think in that moment, just allow them to be. And when you place gentle attention on any emotion that's coming up, place gentle attention and just make this declaration that whatever wants to be can be. Then what happens is that those emotions start to move, right? They start to actually, because you're giving that emotion permission to be. An emotion, actually, Marianne Williamson says that an emotion, and I don't know who she learned it from, but she's the one that I learned it from. An emotion actually can be experienced, moved, and basically moved out of your experience in 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes. So if you're experiencing sadness, if you really allow yourself to feel that sadness and just allow it to be without getting tied up in the story, but just allow that emotion to be, you can actually experience that sadness fully for 1.5 minutes, and then the sadness moves. Emotion actually wants to move. That's the point of emotions, is you experience and then it moves, and then it allows room for those higher vibrations, because your natural state is non-resistance. Your natural state is actually those those freer feeling emotions. Okay. So I want you to get familiar with your instrument panel. I want you to get familiar with this emotional guidance system. Just today, I want you to, without judging and complete allowance, allow yourself to just notice where you are at any given point. Ask yourself, where am I on the topic of abundance on this scale? Where am I on the topic of relationships? Where am I on the topic of my career? Whatever is important to you, and especially those things that you're trying to change right now. Like, where is it that you're struggling to make something happen? I want you to look on that instrument panel and just notate, where are you today? No judgment, complete allowance. If you're in a place of frustration, allow yourself to be there. Just allow it. It's as if you were in Arizona and you wanted to reach California, right? And you don't want to be in Arizona, you want to be in California. But if you were resisting where you were, like, oh, I'm not in Arizona, I don't feel like being here, then how can you possibly start your joyful trek to California? If you're not just allowing yourself to be where you are, then you can't get to where you're going, especially joyfully. Does that make sense? So today, your assignment is to get familiar with your instrument panel, notice where you are, and by the way, the most important thing, and I'm glad I remember this because I almost forgot to say it, but if you see right above on the instrument panel, contentment, relaxation, emptiness, that is allowing. And when you are content with the feelings that are going on inside of you, even if it's anger or worry or doubt, if you are in a content place or in a state of allowing those emotions, you instantly rise above the tipping point. So anytime you feel bad, feel resistant, there is a struggle in actually just allowing those emotions to be. So I want you to just notate, make some notes on that instrument panel. If you have questions about this, or if you're having a hard time actually allowing those feelings, feel free to message me. You can message me on Facebook, send me an email, and I will help you with whatever it is that you are struggling with, like just seeing where you are on this scale. But that is your assignment for today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to take you into some specific areas like freedom, abundance, love, all of those things, and how you can actually allow more of that into your experience. So look forward to that. Today, your only assignment is to get familiar with your instrument panel. Notice throughout the day how you're feeling. You will feel it in your body, and disconnect from the story, right? So if you're telling yourself a story, if you're feeling victimized, if you feel justified in the way that you feel, then you're in that moment, you're stuck in the story, which is not a place of allowing. If you can just allow those feelings to move, then you'll be able to see things differently. And that's my hope for you in this next 5 days, is that you can start to see things differently. You remove yourself from the struggle, you see things as they are, you feel your emotions, and then you place yourself above that tipping point, above that midline, so that you can be in a state of allowing. So I will see you guys on the next video tomorrow. Until then, be very deliberate about paying attention to how you feel, and just allow whatever is to be. I will see you guys tomorrow. So much love. Bye.